Hey everybody, it's Friday. Listen and learn. It's been a couple of weeks since I had a chance to talk to you. I know the last 2 weeks were very important topics, and they took up a little bit of time, so I promise to be really short today. We're going to talk about goal setting, setting your goals. Whether you're an athlete or whatever you're going to do in life, you want to set goals and we want to achieve them. So we're just going to go over some basics on setting goals. Like again, you're always muted, but if you have questions or just want to chip in because you missed me, you want to say hi, we'll do it afterwards. But my goal for this listen and learn. They help us begin each day with intentions and guide us to success. So goal setting. Before you start to set your goals, you should try and consider the background to goal setting. So here's just a little bit of a background. Understand your commitment to your sport. Understand the level you want to reach in your sport, and know the skills that have to be acquired and the levels of performance that will be needed. Okay, so before you set your goals, make sure we understand a little bit of this background. So some general guidelines on goal setting. Make sure they are positive statements. Express your goals positively. Be precise, set priorities, and record your goals, right? Recording your goals, you always go back and look at them and just see how far you've come and how many accomplishments you've made over the course of a semester or a year or a career. And then keep immediate goals small, right? So maybe some of our goals are to play professional baseball, right? But before we get there, we have to take business in the classroom and make sure we get our workouts in and make sure we do what we got to do on the field now before we get there. So keep those immediate goals small. We want to set specific goals. Set specific measurable goals, right? So if you want to lose weight, we're going to say, okay, I want to lose 10 pounds in 2 months, right? So that's what I mean by measurable goals. If you achieve all aspects of a measurable goal, then you can be confident in your achievement. If you consistently fail to meet a measurable goal, then you could adjust it or analyze why you haven't succeeded. So that's important. So if you don't reach a goal or you don't think you're going to reach a goal, so your goal is to shoot 95% from the free throw line, but you got off to a rough start, right? So we just adjust that goal and I'm going to shoot 90%, which is still at an incredible rate, right? So you can always go back and adjust those goals because the key is to succeed. After analysis, you can take appropriate action and approach it from a different angle or set smaller targets to build up to the larger goal. So go back on that free throw example. If we've got off to a rough start, right? Our next smaller goal to get to that percentage was like, you know what? I'm going to make sure I make my next 10. So our goals need to be realistic, right? So goals may be set unrealistically high for the following reasons. Other people's influences, insufficient information on the situation, always expecting your best performance, and lack of self-respect or a lack of knowledge on your own limits, right? So my son is a senior in high school and he's 6 foot tall, right? So his goals of being an NBA player may be really tough to achieve since he's just 6 foot, right? So just know your own limits. And then I haven't thrown a crying Jordan in any of my presentations yet, and it was about time because I love the crying Jordan meme, right? So there's our guy, Michael Jordan, crying. Setting goals too low, right? We won't want to set goals too low, right? So alternatively, goals can be set too low because of a fear of failure. I think next week we're going to talk about motivation, right? And we're going to get into more of that, but we want to have a motivation to achieve success, not to avoid failure, right? So we are not willing to put in the required effort, time, or complacency, right? So if we're setting our goals too low, these could be why, right? Want to set goals at the right level. To do that, they can be gained through practice. So make sure that skill that we need to obtain to get to that goal can be attained through practice. Make sure they are slightly out of your immediate grasp. Make sure no one will put serious effort into achieving a goal that they believe is unrealistic, right? So if you're setting a really unrealistic goal, you're probably not going to put that effort in to get it. Remember that the belief that a goal is unrealistic may be counterproductive. And then here we go with where goal setting can go wrong. We've got a couple of reasons. Again, an unrealistic goal, right? If goals are set too low, right? That's where we can go wrong. They can be vague, and too many goals may be set and then work towards at the same time, right? So we don't want to set 12 goals at the same time because we're not going to have enough time to get all those goals in, right? So set nice, quick goals. So a goal could be performing in the classroom, performing in practice, performing in the weight room, right? Those are all three things that we could achieve and have time to do. Achieving goals and getting feedback. So when you achieve a goal, take time to enjoy it. I set a goal for myself and I spent a lot of time over the last 4 or 5 months and I was successful in achieving that goal not too recently. And believe me, I enjoyed it, all right? So take that time when you achieve a goal, especially if it's a big goal, to enjoy it, right? Take the opportunity to reward yourself appropriately if you have been working towards a goal for a long time. If you don't reach a goal, right? So where you have failed to reach a goal, ensure that you learn the lessons of the failure. I hate to use that F word failure, right? But this is just here just so we know that we're setting those goals the right way. And the reasons why you might not have tried hard enough, your technique was faulty and needs to be adjusted, and that goal was just unrealistic. So nothing earth-shattering here, right? Just stuff to remind you. Just a couple more. Use this information to adjust the goal. So if you're giving feedback on a reason why you didn't reach a goal, use that to adjust your goal for next time, okay? Or just to change that goal halfway through so we could be achieving what we need to achieve. Even failing to achieve a goal can be a step forward towards better technique. And remember that the fact of trying something, even if it does not work, often opens up doors that we would otherwise have remained closed. And then giving feedback when we successfully achieve a goal, okay? If the goal was easily achieved, make your next goals harder, okay? So that's where we get from that motivation technique, right? We want to have motivation to achieve success, right? So then we're going to start getting those little bit higher goals that are a little bit tougher to get, right? So if we keep setting our goals low, that means we're just afraid to fail, right? So if we attain the goal, let's make the next one a little bit tougher. If it took too long to achieve, make the next goals a little easier. If you learn something that would lead you to change goals still outstanding, do so. If while achieving the goal, you notice some turbulence in your recovery, take appropriate actions to fix this, right? So we're always giving feedback whether we miss those goals or we obtain them. I got a couple more on feedback. Goals change as you mature. So the older and better we get, your goals are going to change. Again, adjust them regularly. I'm gonna keep stressing that you can always adjust your goals, okay? If goals do not hold any attraction any longer, have a break and try other things. Reaching your target should bring you real pleasure, satisfaction, and achievement. That is the reason why we set goals, right? So we can have satisfaction and feel achievement and get that pleasure out of achieving goals. So a quick summary. I told you I was going to be fast, right? So goal setting is an important method of deciding how committed you are to the sport, deciding what is important for you to achieve, motivating yourself to achieve, and building your self-confidence, right? And you can set goals effectively by phrasing them positively, defining them precisely, prioritizing multiple goals, writing them down, and keep them manageable, right? Not too hard, but not too easy. And then we have our SMART goals. And again, we had a crying Jordan, and I can't have a slide without a Michael Scott too, right? So you may be thinking that you've reached information overload, that I threw a lot of goal stuff at you in a short amount of time. So worst case, this is what we want to do. We want to set your goals based on the SMART principle, right? So your goals should be specific. They should be measurable. You got to make sure that they're attainable, that they're realistic, and give yourself a time to complete them, right? So just remember, out of anything today and what I've spoke about in the last 5 to 10 minutes, that your goals should be SMART, right? A specific goal that can be measured, that we can definitely get to, that is realistic, especially for your sport or your career or your work in the classroom, and make sure it's time-based. So whether you're going to accomplish something in a month or over the course of the semester or a season, preseason, off-season, just make sure our goals are SMART. And there's no smarter person on the face of the earth than Michael Gary Scott, Regional Branch Manager, Dunner Mifflin Scranton. That is all I got today. A nice, short, quick one. If anyone has any questions, feel free to throw them through the chat. If someone wants to say hi because they miss seeing me around and they need someone to talk to for 5 minutes, go ahead. If we want to talk about Pac-12 football starting up in a couple of weeks and how Colorado Buffaloes are going to be absolutely dominant, that's fine too. We want to talk about National League postseason, how the Dodgers stink, and how the Rays are going to be a 3-0 lead to the cheater Astros. We can do that too. So it's wide open. If not, everyone have a great, safe weekend. Make sure you wear your mask. Make sure you check your Falcons email, and make sure you call who you need to call to take care of your financial aid stuff. And it was a pleasure seeing you. I think I'm going to see you next week too. All right. It's a wrap. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, Coach.